Anil Agarwal is betting $20 billion on India. Here's the Vedanta story behind it. Good day, everyone. Welcome to the video of the day. So, one of India's biggest mining billionaires just split his company into five pieces, and now he's betting $20 billion on making each piece bigger than most people can imagine. No outside investors, almost entirely his company owned cash. This is a story of Anil Agarwal's biggest bet yet and why he says that India's time has came. Let's start. So the big restructuring. Vedanta Group Chairman Anil Agarwal has restructured Vedanta Limited into five separate independently listed companies covering aluminium, oil, gas, power, iron and steel, and residual entity that keeps zinc and critical minerals, including a majority stake in Hindustan Zinc. Agarwal says the goal is to unlock shareholder value by giving investors cleaner, more focused exposure to each business through industry watch that point to another factor. Also reducing debt at group holding company, within the resource which has fallen from around 8.9 billion a few years ago to roughly 4.7 billion more recently. So, what's the $20 billion plan? Here's why it gets ambitious. Agarwal is planning to invest close to $20 billion over the next 3 to 5 years, funded largely into group's own internal cash generation, not new debt or outside investors. Let's break it down by business. So, first is aluminium. Currently producing about 3 million tons a year, which a target to double that within 3 years, and aiming to become the world's largest privately owned aluminium producer. Second is oil and gas, which Agarwal calls his heart and soul, getting roughly $5 billion of that investment, aiming to push production up to 500 barrels a day. Power, scaling from around 4,000 megawatts today to target of 20,000 megawatts, largely through expanding existing plant rather than building new ones from the scratch. Fourth is iron and steel, aiming to roughly quadruple output from about 4 million tons to 15 million tons. Agarwal has said each of this business has the potential to eventually hit $100 billion in revenue on its own. So why this matters for all of us? Why is Agarwal doing this right now? His argument centers on India's dependence on imported natural resource. That he is pointing out that India imports around $400 billion worth of below ground resource every year. And his bet is that India can compete globally on cost in metals like aluminium and zinc, and that natural resource can be a genuine growth engine for the country, the way it has been for US, the Middle East, and the Australia. It's very worth noting that this isn't Agarwal's first ambitious swing. In 2022, Vedanta announced a $19.5 billion semiconductor joint venture with Foxconn, which fell apart less than a year later when Foxconn walked away without giving a reason. Now, the important part for everyone is the financial advice where I suggest to do your own research. This is fundamentally a bet on execution and commodity cycles. Two things that are notoriously hard to control. Metals and energy piece swing based on global demand. If you are taking the demerged Vedanta entities, watch their individual quarterly results separately now. Since each business trade independently, their performance will no longer be hidden inside one combined number. To conclude, five companies, $20 billion, almost entirely self-fund. Anil Agarwal's biggest bet on India yet. Whether it pays off comes down to one thing, it's execution. So subscribe the channel to know more about this thing in future. Share it with your friends, family, colleagues too. Make sure to like the video and welcome to Money Brief. Let's grow together.